Algebra 2, EOC practice test number 12. A system of equations is shown, f of x and g of x. What is the greatest of x for which f of x equals g of x? So when it says f of x equals g of x, remember we're just trying to find the intersection where these two graphs or these two equations intersect and have a common x value. So we want the greatest value. So this is a quadratic and this is an absolute value, and the easiest way to do this is by just putting these in your graphing calculator. So if I pull out my graphing calculator, I'm going to go to y equals, and I'm going to type in negative x squared plus 6x minus 4. Scroll down. I need to put in an absolute value. If you go to math and you arrow over to number, ABS, absolute value is the first thing on there. So I'm going to do x minus 3. And then I'm going to arrow. I need to get outside the absolute value for my negative 1. So I'm going to arrow over and then do negative or minus 1. Now I'm going to hit graph. And it looks like my table has been changed a little bit. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go back to window. And let's change this back. Let's change this back to a negative 10, a positive 10. That's our minimum and maximum for our x's, which is our horizontal axis. A scale of 1 is 5, and then our minimum and maximum for our y values, let's put that as 10 as well. Alright, now let's just see what happens. Alright, so there's our quadratic and there's our absolute value, and it says what is the greatest value. So we can see that it crosses in two spots. It crosses around 1 or 2, and it crosses up here again at somewhere. The second point is our greatest x value, so that's the one we want to isolate here. So I'm going to do second trace, and I want to find the intersection point. So number 5, and then I'm going to arrow, and this says first curve. So this is like I need somewhere left of that point. So first curve has to be left of that point, so hit enter. And then I'm going to move this cursor maybe, alright, to the right of that point. So what it's going to do is it's going to isolate and it's going to find the intersection of these two graphs between my first and my second curve. So now that it's isolating, hit enter one more time, and it says the intersection is at 5, 1. Alright, it says what is the greatest value of x. So even though it intersects at a point, an xy value, an ordered pair, the ordered pair is 5, 1. We only need the greatest value of x, which is 5. So the answer that goes in the box is 5. Right, so number 12, 5 is your answer.